What's going on, party people? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I told you yesterday when I was in Cincinnati that I was going to come on today. Probably won't go an hour like I normally do, but I want to be on here long enough to answer your questions. So, in today's episode, we'll talk about, congratulate the player of the week and the freshman of the week. We'll talk about the Big Ten missing out on opportunities, prime opportunities against other Power Six conference teams with the Big Ten, in my opinion, just hasn't done very well. And then we'll do a deep dive on the Illini, talk about the important stretch that they have coming up and some of the health updates to Coleman Hawkins and Niccolo Moretti. All right. First off, if you want to join the tribe, you can text me 312-847-2739 or go get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. Go to bardostribe.com. That's BARDOS tribe.com and get your free copy. Okay. Big ups to Zach Edey, Big Ten Player of the Week. Purdue should be team of the year thus far, which they're now ranked the number one team in the country. And why not? They did yeoman's work out in Maui. That was one of the most highly stacked non-conference tournaments, MTEs they call them, of its type that anybody in the business can remember. And Purdue won it in impressive fashion. Beat number 11 Gonzaga, wasn't much of a problem. Beat number 7 Tennessee, pretty well, and then handled number 4 Marquette. And this is a team that seems to be kind of doing the same thing that they did last year, where Zach Edey's numbers are as good, if not better, than last year's National Player of the Year statistics. They're a little bit more athletic with Lance Jones, Miles Colvin, Cam Heide. They're more experienced at the guard spot. So this is a Purdue team that I know that was a tough taste in the mouth left after the NCAA tournament, but this team looks primed to do some special things once again. And big ups to my nephew. About damn time. My nephew, John Blackwell of Wisconsin. Big Ten named Owen Freeman Big Ten Freshman of the Week twice. Come on, guys. What are y'all watching? I'm not taking anything away from Owen Freeman, but his numbers don't even compare to John's. John's been killing from day one. Anyway, congrats, nephew, doing your thing. For you Illini people and Big Ten fans that, have been around the block a little bit. John is the son of Glenn Blackwell, former Fighting Illini player, teammate of mine. Love the guy. Love Glenn. Love his family. Love this young man. He's doing his thing. So congrats, nephew. Keep doing your thing. Help those Badgers out. All right. Now let's move on to what I think is kind of important, because it's probably not going to factor too much in to the number of teams from the Big Ten that get into the NCAA tournament, but it will factor into Selection Sunday, because it's a lot about perception, especially right now in November and early December, when college basketball fans and people in the media are their eyes are not all on college basketball. A lot of people are still covering college football. But if you're the casual fan or you're the media member that doesn't go as deep on the basketball side as I do, and you're kind of looking at scores, you're not looking at some of the other teams like Northwestern, who's done well. They haven't played a ton of Power 6 opponents, but they've played some very good opponents, and they've done very well. So a lot of times the national media won't look at teams like Nebraska, Northwestern, even an earlier Michigan iteration. Now they bumped their heads down in the Bahamas, lost to both Memphis and Texas Tech. But a lot of national media people, they're going off perception in November and December. And so if the perception of the Big Ten is not doing well, it's going to affect the way that teams are seeded during the NCAA tournament. So let's take a look, like a short snippet. Michigan lost to Memphis and Texas Tech in the Bahamas. Iowa lost to Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma's undefeated right now. I don't know who else Oklahoma has played, but they're undefeated. So there might be something there. Penn State lost to Texas A&M and VCU. No shame. Texas A&M, one of the better SEC teams, one of the better teams in the country, but great opportunity. Penn State loses to Butler. And Illinois, as you all know, last week lost to Marquette. So, it's not like college football where you can't go to the NCAA tournament if you lose these early games, but the perception from a national standpoint is not good. Now, one of the bright spots, Ohio State beat a ranked Alabama team. So that was one of the bright spots. But Ohio State is not thought of nationally, I don't think, as a team that will be in the top 3, 4, or 5. Right? That's Purdue. Once thought of as Michigan State, but Michigan State has stumbled. Illinois is in there. Illinois looked pretty good. I thought they looked really good against Marquette, but Marquette's elite. Illinois is not quite there yet. They have the potential to be, but they're not there yet. So these are missed opportunities, man, that really hurt the perception of the Big Ten Conference. And it's not going to matter right now. And the rankings, I know the rankings. I know fans like the AP Top 25. That doesn't mean anything to me. It means absolutely nothing because those rankings change every week. And again, the national media that are paying attention to college football right now, that are just kind of glancing at college basketball, they're looking at the rankings, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to shift a lot during the season. So moving forward, now that the Big Ten is going to start their early portion of the conference schedule, where people will start to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on, but the Big Ten has to take better care of these opportunities, right? They've got to win these other games against Power 6 opponents. It's not good enough to say, oh, well, we competed hard and, oh, we did okay. Or, oh, they're just better than us. Why are they better than the Big Ten teams every year overall? Why is that happening? Right? That's a question that I have. A guy that I know very well that's a basketball savant. He says, Steven, why are the guards so slow in the Big Ten? And, I sat back and thought about it because when I look at, I'll give you a great example. Army goes to Indiana, and there's this freshman redhead kid, Curry, and he goes off on Indiana. This dude looks like Doogie Howser. He looks like one of the Alfalfa and the Rascals. He looks like a little kid, and he's torching the Hoosiers, right? Then Harvard plays Indiana in Indianapolis, and this same guy, this basketball savant that asked me, why are the guards so slow in the Big Ten? His protege, guy that he helped develop, Malik Mack, put 27 on Indiana. He's a freshman at Harvard. Now, I know that Xavier Johnson went out with an injury, and Xavier was really in his behind defensively. But Malik Mack, a freshman at Harvard, drops an efficient 27 on Indiana. Now, I'm not picking on the Hoosiers because, I saw some elite guards really make some plays against the Illini down the stretch. Marquette, Tyler Kolek, best point guard in the country. Cam Jones will be an All-American at the end of the year, made plays. But the quickness factor is always a factor. So when you look at Wisconsin right now, Greg Gard gets it. He's trying to interject athleticism to his team because it's in the Big Ten, it may be one thing, but once you get outside the conference, can you compete nationally? So, I want to hear from you guys first, but I'm going to look at this narrative throughout the season. What is it about the Big Ten that the guard play seems to be not lagging necessarily, but not as athletic? Like if I go across the board right now, does Nebraska's backcourt scare you outside of Keisei Tominaga? who can score. I really like Jamarcus Lawrence, but does he really scare you? No. Does Elijah Hawkins at Minnesota, who went to the NCAA tournament with Howard, does he put you on your heels? Not really. Does Chucky Hepburn blow your boots off with his quickness and athleticism? Yes, he's gotten quicker. He's dropped weight. He's gotten quicker, more athletic. But is he elite athletically? No. Boo Booey. Excellent guard. Preseason All-American. Athletically, does he blow your socks off? You see what I'm getting at? Is outside of Xavier Johnson at Indiana when he's healthy, Kanye Clary at Penn State, Jameer Young at Maryland, and maybe Noah Fernandez at Rutgers. There's not a lot of people outside of those guards that are athletic or that are fast or that put pressure on you. What is it about the Big Ten that the guard play just doesn't seem to be up to par with the Big 12, the ACC, the SEC? I won't go as far as the Pac nothing in their last year, but it's a troubling trend, and it's not just with a couple of programs; it's across the board. Doug McDaniel will put you on your heels a little bit, but he's not going to run and dunk on your head or anything like that. But quickness and speed, he'll put you on your heels a little bit. So Doug is athletically, he's in that area with Jameer Young, Kanye Clary, Xavier Johnson. They're kind of the top in terms of athleticism in terms of Big Ten guards. But outside of that, unless I'm missing something, because even Michigan State, they look fast, but is AJ Walker going to blow past anybody? Is Tyson AJ Hogard going to blow past you? Not really. He might overpower you, but he's not going to blow past you. Is Tyson Walker going to blow past you, or out athletically? No. He can score that thing. He can shoot it, so you got to press up on him. That makes him more athletic because you have to close space. But none of these guys are like crazy athletically. Why is that? Why is it that Cohen Carr can come to Michigan State and everybody is salivating like the next coming? Because he's an athlete that we haven't seen in the Big Ten in a while, maybe since Jaden Ivey. And then those guys aren't as consistent. You get a Jaden Ivey, and then the level of athleticism, where is it? Right? So that's a troubling trend for me. And I think it has something to do with the fact that Big Ten struggles to take care of some of these Power 6 opponents in the non-conference slate. Because I think the guard play is the Big Ten guard play overall doesn't match the athleticism, speed, and quickness of the other Power 6 guards across the board. Let me know what you guys think. Let me do a deep dive on the Illini. This is a crucial stretch for the Illini coming up. So the schedule worked out very well to be able to rest Coleman Hawkins. After the Marquette game, they shut him down, and he's had an extended period, and he's getting better, according to Jeremy Werner, who I trust as an Illini source of information. But the bad thing is that he said that Nicolo Moretti is on crutches. And anytime a player's on crutches and they don't want you to put weight on that extremity, that's not a good sign. That indicates to me that he's not going to be ready for Rutgers this weekend. If he is, I'd be very surprised. I would be hopeful that he'd be ready for Florida Atlantic, but we'll have to wait and see, because I don't know the severity of it, and they've been very quiet. There's not been a lot of information that's come out about Nicolo's injury. I don't even know what it is. I know it's a foot, ankle, or something like that, but I've been looking and I have not seen anything definitive stating exactly what it is. So college basketball, congratulations. You guys are just like NFL and college football now, hiding injuries. This is what Jeremy Werner was talking about. Coleman's making progress. Nicolo is on crutches. So that, to me, that's not a good sign. That's not what Jeremy said. That's what I'm saying. Anytime a player's on crutches in season, that means they're going to miss some time. So let's hope that he recovers quickly, because to me he showed flashes of he could be the answer to offsetting some of the things that Ty Rodgers may struggle with. So let's hope that he gets back safe. All right, quickly rather. Now here's the stretch for the Illini. This is a brutal stretch, and Brad Underwood said to me, he's like, "Who's the dummy that scheduled this?" So this Friday, the Big Ten will resume its conference play, the early 1 or 2 games, right? So I'll talk about this in game. Man, I didn't put that. I'm gonna have to verbalize this. I didn't put it in here, but it's hold on. It is Indiana, Maryland at Indiana, and Purdue at Northwestern Friday, December 1st. That's going to be a great game, because Andrew Nicholson is coming off a game where he scored, I think it was 16 or 17 points. And if Northwestern can get 8 points or more a game from Andrew Nicholson, they're going to be tough, y'all, because you know they're going to defend. Boo Booey's an All-American. Ryan Langborg can play with anybody in the conference. Brooks Barnheiser might be most improved player in the conference right now. Ty Berry's still trying to find his range, but this is a Northwestern team that's pretty talented. So you got number 1 Purdue coming into Northwestern on Friday. Last season, number 1 Purdue came into Northwestern. I was calling the game, and Northwestern upset Purdue. So we'll see what's going to happen Friday, but this is a good Northwestern team. So the Big Ten slate starts out Friday, Maryland and Indiana first at 6 p.m. on Big Ten Network, and then the nightcap, Purdue at Northwestern on Big Ten Network at 8 p.m. All right. So the Illini start the following day at Rutgers. And here's a tidbit that I want you guys to understand and know about. This is a different Rutgers team, right? Steve Pikiell's teams are tough and defensive oriented, but this Rutgers team gets a higher percentage of their points so far this season from fast break points than any other team in the Big Ten right now. More than Michigan State, more than Nebraska. Okay? So Rutgers is playing up tempo, and I think they still maintain that defensive toughness, that culture that Steve Pikiell has developed. Okay? So this is going to be a tough matchup. And as you Big Ten fans know, anytime you go to the rack, it's a brawl. It's a game. It's tough. Those Jersey fans get after you. I love the atmosphere in that building. And I'm going to be on the 1s and 2s on Big Ten Network calling that one. And I am really looking forward to that. So the Illini start the tough stretch at Rutgers. Then December 5th, they've got Florida Atlantic in Madison Square Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, Florida Atlantic's run last year was not a fluke. They are right back on track again. I mean, they blasted let me see. Who did Florida Atlantic blast? I mean, blasted somebody pretty good. They stubbed their toe against, let me just bear with me for a second. Let me find Florida Atlantic in Conference USA, I believe. So let me see. Thank you for bearing with me. I thought they were in Conference USA. Maybe. Yeah, they are in Conference USA. They're number 13th ranked team in the country. They lost to Bryant 61-52, but then they came back and beat Butler. They beat Texas A&M, 12th ranked Texas A&M, 96-89, and then they smashed Virginia Tech. The coach at Virginia Tech, his name is escaping me. Mike is his first name. He's been in the ACC 7 years. He's never been beaten by more than 30 points. Florida Atlantic beat them 84-50. So Florida Atlantic has another very good matchup later this week against Liberty. They've got a matchup against Charleston, and then they play Illinois in New York. Great game for New York, or for the Illini in Madison Square Garden. Then they get, about an 8-day rest, and then they got to go to Tennessee, the SEC favorite. You've heard me talking about how good the Tennessee Volunteers are. They'll get the opportunity to go down to what is that building called? Thompson Boylan Arena, one of the biggest arenas in all college basketball. I believe they can get 20,000, 19 or 20,000 in that building. That place is going to be rocking. And that's going to be a sea of orange. Not the Illini orange, but it'll be a sea of orange. Then the Illini come back home December 17th against Colgate, which is the Patriot League favorite. Right? It's a good team. And then, of course, they've got the bragging rights game in St. Louis against Missouri. So this is a really, really brutal stretch. And I'm happy for the Illini that they were able to get these extended days to help get Coleman Hawkins and Nicolo Moretti healthy, but to also shear up some things that they're going to need to be very good on when they go on the road at Rutgers. They're in New York against one of the best teams in the country at Florida Atlantic. They're on the road at one of the best teams in the country at Tennessee. They're coming home to play a sneaky good Colgate team. Then they're going to play St. Louis against a Missouri team that's kind of had their number in the last few years. So we're going to know a lot about this Illini team coming out of this stretch. And for all you Illini fans who are in the New York area, show up for the Rutgers game, show up for the Madison Square Garden game against FAU because they're going to need you. And Illini fans always show up for the bragging rights game, so I'm not worried about that. So, oh man, we got a lot of questions here. So, yep. So that's my deep dive on the Illini. I'll if I get information or a health update on either Moretti or Hawkins, I will let you know. I think Hawkins is progressing the way that they like him to. So I don't think there's any change there. But if something changes, I'll come back and get back to you. Plus, I'm going to start doing these a little bit more frequently. I'm not going to wait once a week. I'll probably do them 2 or 3 times a week so I can get more pertinent information and not have to wait so long. All right. Kevin McDuffie, what's good, brother? Good to see you, man. I did have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you did as well with you and your sons. Good-looking fellas, too, man. I'm so impressed with Purdue. They have already been battle-tested and passed. Salute. Hoop, baller, scoop. Purdue's rocking, man. And they can't help what happened last year. But if that doesn't happen, then everybody and their mom is talking about Purdue right now. As impressive as their run has been to start this season. So, hoop, baller, scoop, I'm right there with you. What's good, TM? Good to see you. Yes, how for Illinois, we'll forecast how Illinois do. I agree. Because they could get buried if they're not careful and may have a hard time recovering, or they can pull off one of these upsets and be a springboard to something special. Now, Greg Kampe, I'll share this with you guys. Greg Kampe is in his 40 years coaching the same university, Oakland University in Michigan. Really good team out of the Horizon League. I was on the call last night for Oakland's upset at Xavier in Cincinnati. And speaking with Greg Kampe before in shoot-around, great guy to talk to. I love talking to him. He's real cool with Brad Underwood. They go way back, by the way. He said that the Illini's defense was elite. He thought they were elite defensively, like one of the best in the country. So when you've got a guy that is the longest tenured coach in college basketball, who's seen everything, whose Oakland team played Illinois very, very tough, but Illinois is able to come out with a victory. He thinks Illinois' defense is as good as anybody's he's seen all season. Not just guys he's played, but teams he's looked at. He thinks the Illini defensively, and he was really raving about Terrence Shannon, and he said he's the best two-way player in the country right now. So they've got a great opportunity here, TM. We'll see what happens. Thank you for joining, man. I always appreciate your support. What's up, Ron? Good to see you. Talk about it every other week, but Michigan State, I know this, but are they a little overrated? Are they more so a top 15, top 20 teams instead of top 5? Probably at this point. They might not even be a top 25 team at this point, Ron. That's fair. That's fair to say. Yeah, I mean, but we've seen this play out before, and we know that Tom, whatever his formula is, that he will implement it and they'll get it done. Or they'll improve. Let's put it like that. They'll improve. All right. Thanks, Ron. Good to see you, man. these games count on Selection Sunday, like you said. I think wins help you. I'm not sure that losses hurt as long as you pick up quality wins along the way. Well, I mean, that's fair. And the good thing about the teams in the Big Ten, they have a plethora of opportunities to do really good work. So you could be right, but I just know that a lot of times, when we as analysts we start to talk towards the end of the regular season, we're starting to get close to the Big Ten Conference tournament. All attorneys talk starts, and what people start doing is they go back to the beginning of your schedule and they look at all the games in your schedule, and they weight the games in November as much as they weight the games in February. So perception-wise, it's not good, but we'll see. Frederick FB Blue, what's good, Frederick? Thanks for tuning in, man. I don't know if you've commented or been on the show, but if this is your first time, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. Welcome to the tribe, baby. 2 rules: come strong and don't come at all, and be kind. That's all we ask. But glad to have you on, and thanks for tuning in. What's up, Carol? No, picture's not coming up, but just put Carol in there. We know who you are. One of the tribe's finest. What's up, Black? Good to see you. Man, they was dissing our boy, man. What? Whatever. They got it right, though. Better late than never, right? Jonathan's doing his thing. Glenn, you've done a great job with that young man and your other 2 sons, you and your wife. Congratulations to you. Because as parents, we know how difficult it is to navigate your children through life, period. But also this thing called basketball can be very treacherous. And Glenn, you've done a fantastic job. So congratulations. Salute you, brother. Love you. What's up, DT? Good to see you, brother. AJ Hogard has been a complete mess to me. That's a good way of putting it. A complete mess. To me, maybe it's me. He looks chunky, a little fat. When does Izzo say, okay, Fears, do your thing? That's a good question. Because believe me, Derek, AJ feels Jeremy Fears. He feels him every day in practice. So he knows he knows he's there. Is AJ heavy? Now, AJ lost weight last year. You think he's picked it back up? You think he looks a little chunky? He may have. You could be correct in that. I also think it's some things just between he and Izzo's relationship. They seem to clash a lot. And they're clashing again early in the season. They'll get it right, but, it is a little weird that it happens every year, right? Sean Timothy. What's up, Sean? I think the Big Ten hasn't fully adjusted to how the game has changed. Big Ten style ball means nothing outside of the Big Ten conference. Just my opinion. Also, better players are looking to stand out, and being a second at a Kansas or Arizona Downs help with that. Okay. I think I know what you're saying, Timothy, or Sean, rather. These are great points. The style of play in the Big Ten is very unique to this conference. That's true. Because the Big East is just as physical. The SEC now has become as physical. Maybe not as physical as the Big Ten, but definitely as talented. The Big 12 has been as physical, if not more, and more talented for over a decade now across the board. So you got a point there. But why is it that Purdue can get a Jaden Ivey? Illinois can get a Terrence Shannon, who I think is a future pro. It's one here, it's one there. It's never like 4 or 5 years in a row we've got like guards who can get drafted or guards who can be in the second round of the NBA draft. I haven't seen it. So, but I like your points. That's a very good point that outside the Big Ten Conference, I'm not sure that people really, what's the word I'm looking for? Relate maybe, or maybe even respect because of the lack of success the Big Ten has had in recent NCAA tournaments. What's up, Scoop Hoop? Jeff Goodman, I don't know if you respect his hoop mind, but he said on his show the Big Ten outside of 3 teams isn't good. No, Jeff Goodman, I like Jeff. Jeff knows his stuff. He works his tail off. He's a little bit more opinionated than I would prefer to be, but I mean, he's looking at what he's seen. And when Jeff is talking about good, is he talking about top 25, top 40 good? Because if that's the case, he may have a point. I don't know the criteria, what he means by good. But, we haven't had a lot of performances that would dictate outside of Purdue and man, because Michigan State has not been one of the top 3 teams in the league. It's been Purdue, Illinois. Let me not guess here. Let me take a look. Go back and look really quickly at the standings here so I can get a quick glimpse of everybody's record to this point, because I've got a decent understanding of most of the teams. But right now, the top 3 teams in terms of there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. I can simply do this instead of not sharing it with you guys. I can do it like this. So, can you guys see that okay? Oh, that's not big enough. Hold on. Let me move this off. Can I get this bigger? I know I can. How can I get this bigger? Anyway, if you guys can't see it, Nebraska's 7-0. They're going to get tested against Creighton this weekend. Purdue is 6-0. And Illini, Illinois, Indiana, Northwestern, Ohio State, and Rutgers are all 5-1. Right? So out of this grouping, there's no question that Purdue's been the best team. I would think Illinois is probably even the second best team to this point. And then I would have to go with Northwestern, because I think Northwestern's played a more difficult schedule than the Nebraska Huskers up to this point. But if Nebraska takes care of business at home against Creighton this weekend, it's a whole different ball game. So if you look at maybe from Jeff Goodman's standpoint, let's take a look. Wisconsin has rebounded. They're 5-2. They've rebounded well since their earlier losses. Iowa Hawkeyes are kind of moving a little bit under the radar. Lost to a good Creighton team, lost to an undefeated Oklahoma team, 4-2 right now. Gophers had a devastating home loss against Missouri. So, and they're trying to work their way out of the cellar. Michigan had a couple of tough losses in the Bahamas against Memphis and Texas Tech. They did beat Stanford, so they didn't leave empty-handed. Penn State's kind of dropped off a little bit. They started strong, but they've had losses to Texas A&M, VCU, and they had another loss. I can't recall. Maryland started off poorly, and Michigan State is trying to work their way back. Michigan State's played a very difficult schedule, but we always know that is Tom Izzo's MO, right? So when you look at that and you look at what Jeff Goodman was referring to, Scoop Hoop, he may have a point. That's what I was talking about, the Big Ten missing out on opportunities against other Power 6 conferences. If you can't beat your so-called colleagues head-to-head, you're not very good right now. That's not an indictment for them moving all the way through the season, but the snapshot of the Big Ten right now, he might be accurate in that. Chad Alt, what's good, my man? Good to see you, brother. Thank you. Kevon, did I say that right, Kevin? Kevon, Bardo, how has Terrence Shannon looked so far this year? Like a dog, a beast, best two-way player in college basketball. I said it last week. Greg Campy, head coach of Oakland University, said the same thing to me yesterday. And I think that people would agree that his desire to defend is as high as I've ever seen it. And the way that he's guarding, that dude is big, Kevon. I'm 6'6", but I'm not like thick. I'm like a greyhound. This dude is 6'7" and about 230. He is big and tough, fast, athletic, right? He's looking real good right now. Simeon Fuller, what's going on? How about, oh, you're talking about in terms of athleticism. I don't really, I don't think, I think Terrence is more of a wing. I don't necessarily put him as a guard. He can make plays as a guard, but I put him more as a wing. He's more of, who can I compare him to that's been in the Big Ten recently? Yeah, I don't necessarily classify Terrence as a as a guard. So that's where even if you threw Terrence Shannon in the mix, he'd be one of the most elite guards in the league. But after that, I mean, I named what, 5 or 6 out of 14 teams. So yeah, you could throw him in there, but it's still my point is still that I still don't understand why the Big Ten struggles to recruit elite guards. I have tickets to Illinois, Tennessee. Will you be covering it? No, Chad, unfortunately not. What's your feeling on that game? I was in high school in Illinois when you were at Illinois, and Flying Line were my all time. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. What do I think about that game? That's going to be tough for the Illini to win that one. Because here's what gives the Illini problems. Backcourt quickness, which Tennessee has. Teams that can match the physicality of the Illini, Tennessee has that. And Tennessee's they've got a couple pros, actually. Dalton Connect and what's this? Gainey, the guard Gainey. Those two are pros. So if I was a bet man, obviously Illinois can go in and get the win, Chad, but that's a tough ask. That's a tall order because Tennessee is really, really, really good. Now they lost twice in the Maui Invitational. That was a little surprising. One of them being to Purdue, but Zakai Ziegler, their outstanding point guard, is still not 100% coming off an ACL. Santiago Vescovi is not. He's not like the preseason player of the year, like he was up for in the SEC. So they're trying to find their way. I'm sure Rick Barnes will work on some things since they've come back from Maui, but they're going to be ready for the Illini. So if I had to choose, if I had to pick, I'd pick Tennessee slightly over the Illini in that one. I saw your video posted yesterday saying you did Oakland game. Rocket Watts played. Hey, what's up, Imani? Good to see you. Rocket did pretty good. He's not scoring a lot for Oakland. He's more of a setup guy, but boy, he hit a clutch baseline jumper last night. Late in the game, Greg Campbell called his number. He got left, went hard, elevated on the baseline. It hit every piece of the rim and dropped in. So he's playing well. He seems happy. He looks healthy. He was very upbeat and energetic when I gave him some dap, gave him a hug, told him I was glad to see him. So he's doing well, and they got a big, big win last night. They were 12.5-point underdogs at Xavier, one of the toughest places to go get a victory in the country, and they led wire to wire. Great performance by Oakland last night. I think overall the Big Ten attracts a certain type of guard, whereas the other conferences attract those athletic guards. Maybe, Glenn, but the thing is, your son is in the category of being able to handle the athleticism. He's big, he's strong, he's got some quick twitch to him, right? So your son is in that category, Glenn. And you are in Detroit. You're in the Big Ten footprint. So there are guards in the Big Ten footprint that are elite athletically, right? But they're not going to Big Ten schools, not all of them. And I don't expect the Big Ten to get all of them. But if there's an area that is glaring for the latest teams in NCAA tournament, is guard play, is length, and athleticism. Those are 3 glaring areas that the Big Ten seems to lack when it comes time to NCAA tournament success. So, Jonathan is he's not an anomaly, but he's an above average athletic guard that the Big Ten normally gets, in my opinion. So you're probably right. But if I don't know, I think Brad Underwood tried with Jaden Epps. He's an outstanding guard, could score, is quick. He's going to probably be one of the top scorers in the country this year at Georgetown. He tried to get Epps. What's that kid's name? That's at Louisville. It's not Epps. Sky Clark. And those guys would have been upper athletic guards, but they're no longer with the program. So Brad is trying. I think Dre Gibbs Lawhorn will be that guy when he's able to get on the floor. He'll be athletic. But again, we're talking your son at Wisconsin and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn at Illinois. Who else am I missing? Am I missing any quick athletic elite level athleticism guards in the Big Ten? I don't think so. If I have, let me know. But good point, Black. I don't think you're wrong. We'll need Nico to be our point guard once he gets back. He can. I'm okay with Ty sharing it because I'd like the Illini to give teams a different look. So if you can have maybe Ty running the point 25 minutes a game and Nicolo 15 minutes a game, I'd be good with that. Because they bring different aspects to the game. Yeah, in Broad's, I know he got stepped on, but I don't know if it's his foot, it's his ankle, it's his Achilles heel, is it a calf tear? I don't know, but he's in a boot and he's on crutches. So that sounds a little bit more serious than an ankle tweak that can be wrapped up and that can be, you can get treatment while you're still playing. He can't play. And if he's on crutches and in a boot, they don't want him putting any pressure on it. So every day that he's in crutches and in a boot, he's not conditioning, he's losing strength, he's losing endurance, and he's losing timing that he's going to have to get back once he gets healthy. So, I know he stepped on his foot, but there was no definitive answer to what the actual injury is. At least I haven't heard it. And I always wanted to ask, do you remember LaFonso Ellis visiting Illinois when you were there? Thought he verbally committed, but might have pulled out due to Bruce Pearl. Chad, yeah, I was there, and LaFonso, I was with him on some of the trips and the parties he went to. Let me shut up. Yeah, I was there. And who knows why LaFonso backed out? Who knows? It could have been the threat of NCAA stuff. Who knows? D'Angelo McCoy, what's up, man? Baylor's good. Now you want to talk about some elite athletes? Whoo! Baylor's good. Baylor is really, really good. They're going to challenge for the Big 12 crown this year. They're really, really good. And I love the fact that Izzo knows that, this stuff in November, December, yeah, people want their school to be winning and all that. Yeah, but he's testing his team against the elite of the country. Arizona, Duke, Baylor. Who else? Let me see who else. Michigan State. Baylor. Yeah, and then they go into conference play. So Baylor will be their last really strong non-conference opponent. And they'll learn a lot with that because those dudes are the real deal. Imagine him with our lineup at that time. Yeah, LaFonso may have slowed us down. I'm just playing. I'm playing. Oh, okay. All right, Ian. I appreciate you, man. I might take you up on that. Not really looking for any other conference reports right now, but I may take you up on that in the future. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate your support and your passion for college basketball. I appreciate you. Thank you. Danelle, yes. Georgia Southern plays at Purdue, and let's see. Bear with me for a second. Georgia Southern. Is that right? I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. Texas Southern is at Purdue, Rider is at Maryland, and Georgia Southern's at Michigan State tonight. So that's who plays in the Big Ten tonight. I didn't list those games because I didn't think those would be as competitive as some of the other ones I listed. I'm not sure on this one with the guards, taking a wild guess here. I think the Big Ten plays slower, more of a half-court game, plus the conference is more physical than others. I would say TSJ, maybe the faster, too fat. Yeah, but see, here's the thing, Carol. All the Power 6 conferences are physical. Everybody's physical. Because if the Big Ten was so physical, why wouldn't they out-physical people in the NCAA tournament? They don't. Illinois didn't out-physical Arkansas last year. Everybody's physical now. I think there needs to be a reckoning with the way the Big Ten is viewed and the way the Big Ten promotes itself, because it's not a smash mouth league anymore. It's not like that. There's a level of physicality, but that's become the norm across college basketball. I would encourage you guys to tune into a Big 12 game or a Big East game and watch those two conferences and how they knock heads. Seriously knock heads, right? So I just think the conference needs a makeover in terms of how they're viewed. Yes. FAU is for real. Oh, that's right. The AAC. That's why I couldn't find them. Thank you, Ian. It's so, man, these teams change so much. You think the power conferences change. Sun Belt, Conference USA, the American Athletic Conference. Man, these teams are all over the freaking place. I have to look it up every time I do a non-conference game, seriously, because I don't know where these teams are half the time. So thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. What's up, Kyrie? I know it's like week 2 or 3 of college season. What Big Ten teams have been disappointing so far? I think it's easier to talk about which Big Ten teams have been good than which teams have been disappointing, because a lot of them have had disappointing losses. I'm not saying these teams should be all undefeated. That's unrealistic. But the conference overall has dropped some really good opportunities in the non-conference slate. And yes, we're early, but it all matters. That's why you play the games. Let's see. What's up, Simeon? I believe we will do fine during this stretch. Our D is top 10. Yeah, defense is. Look, Ken Palm. Let me see if I can pull this up while I got you guys on here. I was having problems accessing Ken Palm yesterday. Okay, here we go. So Illinois is 26th according to Ken Palm, and they're number 10 defensively. So you're right. Illinois is number 65 on the offensive end, but number 10 on the defensive end, and they're number 1 in effective field goal percentage defense. Number 1 in the country. Number 1 in 2-point field goal percentage defense. Number 23 in 3-point percentage defense. So you're right. However, Simeon, defense wasn't the problem against Marquette. The problem was they went scoreless for 5.5 minutes in a crucial stretch in the second half. So the defense can put you in games, can kind of keep you in games, but you still got to score the rock. And you still got to take care of the basketball. You still have to get easy buckets. And those are some things that the Illini are still trying to figure out. Yeah, it's a lot, Glenn. It's a lot. I will agree with that. And compared to the time that you and I were coming through, we had a ton of games that were, I mean, we might play 3 heavyweights in the non-con slate and probably 7 teams that we probably should beat. But now with the sports landscape having so much money, so much more money involved, with so many more networks and so much more coverage, college basketball has got to find a way to stick out in the crowd at this juncture of the season. November is a great sports month because almost every sport is going on during that month, almost. And so college basketball has got to make these heavyweight matchups to draw the attention of the fans. So it is brutal, but I don't think the schools are going to give back that money, Glenn. They're not giving back that $60 million a year. They're not giving that back. What's up, Jeff Parks? The Big Ten Conference is really taking heat about being a weak conference. I saw one outlet saying even the Big 12 being stronger with the Big 10, 6 of the Power 6 conferences. Well, Jeff, I would never say the Big 10 is weak because I never view the Big 10 as weak. It's not a weak conference. It's just not as good early in the season as maybe some of the other conferences are. If I had to compare just off the top of my dome, I wouldn't say the Big 10 is 6th among Power 6 conferences, but I'd say they're kind of middle of the pack right now, maybe 4th, 5th, maybe. They're not ahead of the Big 12. I don't think they're ahead of the SEC. And the Big East, I think the Big East might be slightly. The Big East is better top heavy than the Big 10. The Big 10 has more parity than the Big East, but the Big East has better, higher quality teams at the top. And Villanova's a lot better this year. So I wouldn't say they're weak, but I would say they've had a weak start of the season. That's what I would classify as weak. Yeah, I think the conference they'll get their respect. They'll get their respect. There's still some very high quality non-conference opportunities. Illinois got a plethora of them. Michigan State has one against Baylor. Wisconsin they've got a couple more left. Michigan's got to go to Oregon this weekend. There's still some more opportunities in the non-conference slate for the Big Ten to improve their national narrative. So there's still time. Good point, Carol. And the thing is, I want to let me say this because I think I gotten ahead of myself. We're in November. It's early. These teams are unfinished. They're unfinished business. They're going to have turnovers. They're going to miss free throws. They may not shoot as consistently. So it's early, right? And you expect teams to miss free throws. You expect teams to have a lot of turnovers. Purdue is going to be fine. They're going to be just fine. I think they're better this year than they were last year. I think they have a little bit different component to their team this year. They've got more experience. They'll be fine. All good, Simeon. You were right, though. All good. What's up, Dory? You work with different play-by-play announcers. How do you know when to talk so you don't talk over each other? Seems like you do a seamless job. Thank you, Dory. It comes with practice, and I have a as a point guard, I wasn't a shooter. I wasn't one of the main guys that got a bunch of shots. And sometimes guys that are the leading scorers, they're not as aware. Their awareness isn't as good as a point guard like me. So I might be the best. I might be one of the best in the world at nonverbal communication. I can read people so good because I learned it playing basketball, and I use it to this day. So when I work with people like Matt Schumacher, who I worked with last night, I've worked with him in the past. Now, it was really difficult when I worked with Jason Knapp. That was the first time I'd ever worked with him. That was the first time he and I worked together on NBC. So there was a lot of new stuff, and there was a few times where we talked over each other. But what I try to do, Dory, is I'm listening to cadence. And the best thing is, and this was old school, and we don't do this any longer, but we probably should. You would go to dinner the night before or a couple days before, go to lunch with the person that you're going to be working with. And what I would do is, while we're enjoying our food, you have the conversation. I can pick up on certain things, or I can pick up how their voice when they're trailing off, finishing a thought. And so I would catalog that and then use it the next day in the game. I don't typically do that now because we're all over the daggum place and traveling, coming in and out. So I just try to give a pregnant pause or a long pause before I jump in and make sure that they're done talking. But I appreciate you say that, and it's not seamless. It's not as seamless as it looks, but I'm trying to make it that way. So thank you for your feedback, and thank you for your question, Dory. You're a tribe member. You can ask anything you like. Okay, so thank you for that. Thomas Brooks, what's up, Thomas? Good to see you. Should the teams get more practice time at State Farm Center to help free throws, 3-point shooting? Seems the team struggles with shooting percent. I think they're okay. It's November. They've got a revamped roster. Guys are trying to figure out roles. They're trying to figure out who's going to play down the stretch, who's the go-to player. They're still figuring things out. I think the Illini are fine. Thanks for tuning in, Thomas. John Yee, I haven't seen you, John. How do we fix our free throw shooting? Isn't that a basic skill development? You range from 60 to 79% in college. You mean our team or me personally? Because I believe I was like low 80s, I thought. But you know what? I shared this before last week, John, and Brad will get it. They'll get better. They'll get better. It's routine, routine, confidence, and muscle memory. Routine and muscle memory. No, that's not true, because routine is how do you get your body prepared to let your body know that you're shooting a free throw. That's your routine. Your confidence comes from practicing, and your body takes over after that, right? So are they not shooting enough? Are they not practicing enough free throws? Maybe. Do they need to get in and shoot more free throws? Maybe. Because, man, listen, if Glenn Blackwell's still watching, Glenn, I know you'd shake your head when you go up to Wisconsin and visit your son, and you see what these players today have access to. It is unreal. Indiana has a practice facility that the players can put their fingerprints on and get access to the building 24 hours a day. We couldn't even get practice time in Assembly Hall sometimes, Glenn. You remember that? We had to go to Huff Gym to practice. We couldn't even get in the venue to practice. We had to go to Huff Gym. And then we had to share Huff Gym with people sometimes. These guys can put a fingerprint on a door to get into a multi-million-dollar facility 24 hours a day. Right? They got the food and the nutrition that these guys have access to. The average person, you all cannot fathom the amount of money and resources that are at these young people's disposal. And guess what happened when I went to Wisconsin shoot around early in their game against Tennessee that I had for NBC? Guess who was on the floor? Jonathan Blackwell. No other Badgers were out there. John was shooting free throws, shooting threes, getting to his spots on the floor via the bounce. That's why I was able to go in, Glenn, and get that picture with him, because I went early thinking I was going to get some work done, and John's in here shooting. So I got a chance to visit with him a little bit. But these players have access, John, to facilities. You know, when they're not in school, they're not studying. They can go into the gym, work on their stuff. So hopefully they can take advantage of it. And here's the thing, John. This is what I like to tell young people. You don't have to work at it. You get to work at it. You get to wear the Illini jersey. You get to go to Ubben practice facility and have all this food, all this nutrition, underwater treadmill, infrared uh, uh, hyperbolic chamber, cryotherapy. They got it all. They have it all. Massages. The players can get massages. A massage? I didn't get a massage. I didn't get a massage until I could afford it when I was a professional athlete. We didn't get massages in college. Are you kidding? This cracks me up. Thanks, John. You took me down memory lane there. Let me vent a little bit. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, Kevin Lucas? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would say they have to beat Baylor. Like if Illinois can beat Tennessee or FAU, that will go a long way. So it's not all on Michigan State. If Nebraska can beat Creighton at home, they get Creighton at home. That's a tall order. But if Nebraska can beat Creighton at home, that would help. I know Wisconsin. I keep thinking Wisconsin's got another couple tough ones. Oh, they've got Arizona. Wisconsin's got Arizona. And Tom Izzo said Arizona's the best team in the country that he's seen. So if Wisconsin could beat Arizona, that would be a feather in the cap. So it's not all on Michigan State. And I think that people understand Michigan State's path. It's been pretty laid out over the years. So I wouldn't put that kind of pressure on it, but it sure would help, wouldn't it? It would really, really help. What's up, Thomas Dagley? Good to see you, my man. Tribe member. Recent Illini games has shown how much depth we have. Yes, shooting better, sharing the ball, lots of potential. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's see. Let me address something that Chef Brian X, what's up? What's good, Chef? Good to see you, my man. Hope you and your beautiful bride are doing well. What's up, Insane Mob? Good to see you. If Illini can't get those Chicago recruits, Illini can come to Indianapolis and clean up. And your Illini team in '89 made me the only Illini fan in all of Indiana. Thank you, Insane Mob. I appreciate that. Well, Illinois went and got Dre Gibbs Lawhorn out of Indiana, who had already committed to Purdue. That's a huge get. Luke Goody from Fort Wayne is an Illini. So the Illini are doing a pretty good job. In terms of them being in on these Chicago recruits, Morez Johnson is coming to Illinois. He's a Chicago area kid, very talented. So I think the Illini are doing pretty good. I want to see the guards, the elite guards in the Big Ten. That's what I want to see. Then you'll start to see more NCAA tournament success, in my opinion. Oakland was awesome last night. That was a great college basketball game. Oakland 79, Xavier 78. Oakland led Xavier had the lead for 49 seconds of a 40-minute game. A great game. Great game. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, my man. You know what? The scheduling gods would have it. It's on a grid. It's not, they put certain people on certain things. Robbie Hummel gets every game. I'm not in Purdue until the last game of the season, if you can believe that. And that might be at Illinois, actually. No, it's Illinois at Purdue. Let me not say that without checking. Yeah, I don't have a Purdue game. Man, I don't cover Purdue at all this year until the third to last game of the year, Purdue, Illinois. I don't have Purdue at all. Robbie Hummel gets all the Purdue games. So, but if you come to the Illinois game against Purdue, I'll be there. Let's see. What's good, Paul? Good to see you, my man. Appreciate you. Insane Mob. Indiana, Iowa, Notre Dame conspire to get Illini. I I can't stand Bruce Pearl, Digger, or Bob Knight. You're not alone, partner. A lot of people have the same sentiment. What's up? What's up? What's good, Rob? Good to see you, brother. Who is your sleeper pick to win the Big Ten? Sleeper pick. It's Purdue's to lose, Robert. There's not going to be a sleeper to challenge Purdue. It's either going to be Michigan State, Illinois. I thought Wisconsin at one point. I'm not so sure. I think right now I can only see Illinois and Michigan State at their best challenging Purdue for the Big Ten title. I don't see anybody else. I see other teams being competitive, Rob, but I don't see anybody having the staying power over a 20-game slate to challenge Purdue for the title. Jay Hood, what's good, Jay Hood? When will we see the teams around Illinois play each other again? In this era, nobody should be afraid to play one another. I agree. Northwestern, Illinois, UIC, Loyola, fun for the city of Chicago, fun for the state, Jay Hood. I mean, are Northwestern and Illinois recruiting the same players? I don't think so. Maybe DePaul. No. UIC and Loyola, maybe. Because UIC in the Valley and Loyola in the A10, those are comparable conferences, but I'm with you. I think it needs to happen. Like the state of Indiana mandates that Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame, and is it Butler? They used to mandate it. Those four teams had to do a round robin every year in Indianapolis. I think it'd be great. And do it at Wintrust. Don't do it at the United Center. Do it at Wintrust, where if you get 10 to 12,000 in there, it's going to feel packed. That's what you want, in my opinion. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope UIC is doing well. Ooh, Lyle Clark, great point. Big Ten going to get faster with Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Washington. USC plays fast, too. I don't know about Washington, but USC plays fast. So that's a good point. It will get faster with those teams coming in. What's up, Gary? How much will the Illini need Danger down the road? Hansberry and Danger need playing time. Coleman needs to find his game and confidence. Gary, very good points. I think Dane has shown people that he's going to be his efficient self. He's going to be a scorer. He's going to take up space. He's going to put pressure on the opposing team. And I love Hansberry. He's just got to play more. So they do need to find some playing time for them. It's going to be interesting to see how much time they get in this upcoming stretch, because it's going to be a critical stretch. I think Coleman getting a break from the Illini home crowd on his back and getting healthy, I think he'll come back a renewed player. I think you're going to see a better version of Coleman Hawkins coming back. Ooh, Kevin McDuffie, who is probably the best prognosticator in the Illini tribe, the tribe, Bardo's breakdown. Kevin's probably the best. He says the Illini going 4-1 or 3-2. 4-1. Who you got them losing to, Kevin? Because that at Tennessee game, I mean, I like them against Florida Atlantic in the Garden, because Florida Atlantic's got to match up with them as well. I think that's a favorable matchup for the Illini. But that Tennessee team, ooh, I don't know. Missouri, ooh, I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know. Purdue was huge for Purdue winning the Mauer was huge for the Illini. The field was like the Final Four. Yeah, I think so. It helps all the Big Ten teams, Carol. There's no doubt about it. Oh, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, man. Just trying to, you all give me your time, so I'm trying to make it worth your time. So you're more knowledgeable. You go out and have more knowledge than the people that aren't in the tribe. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Heck no, it's never too late. It's never too late, Kevin. I can have you on here with me sometimes. We can chop it up on a show or something and let the rest of the tribe put you on the hot seat. How about that? Kaylin Creedle, are you on any Nova games this year? I would love that. Kaylin, yes. I've got Nova at DePaul December 23rd. Nova is good, ladies and gentlemen. They're back. They are back. I don't know if they'll challenge for the top of the Big East because Creighton, Marquette, real deal. Real deal. UConn, defending national champions, real deal. Real deal Holyfield. I don't know if they'll challenge for the Big East title, but they are certainly back. So I've got them at DePaul December 23rd on FS1. Thank you, Kaylin. Appreciate that. Oh, Carol, I thought I've made that clear. I don't know about Big Dance. I haven't heard that. I don't know about the NCAA. I doubt they're going to get the NCAA tournament. I don't think they're going to get that. But they will. Peacock will get Big Ten conference games and Big Ten tournament games. They're going to get the first two on Wednesday. They're going to get the first two games on Wednesday. So yeah, I thought I made that. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear. But yeah, Peacock has some quality Big Ten games. Let me give you an example of the Big Ten games I'm covering. Next week, Indiana at Michigan is on Peacock. Indiana at Rutgers on Peacock. Ohio State and Nebraska, which is going to be a good game. I keep talking about Nebraska, y'all. Don't sleep on the Huskers. Ohio State and Nebraska is an NBC game. Illinois at Ohio State. Michigan at Illinois. Maryland at Wisconsin. Purdue at Illinois. Those are all NBC games that I'm covering. And Robbie does more than I do for NBC. So he's got a plethora of games, probably most of the Purdue games that'll be on NBC. He's probably got those and some of the Michigan State games as well. So you want to get Peacock because there are going to be some quality games there. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you as always. Yep, I've got that game, Dory. I'll be calling that game for NBC. No, I won't be calling that game. I won't be calling the Colgate game, but I think I'm going to I may try to get down there to check it out. I'm going to be coming in from New York, but I may try to get down to that game, Carol. I'm not certain. I'll let you know, though. Ooh, I don't know about that, Robert. Illinois would smash DePaul. Nobody would come to that. Not right now. DePaul's got to get better. I love Tony Stubblefield. DePaul's got to get better. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Ciao from Italy. Stephen, can you post your schedule on which Illini games you will call this? Yeah, I sure can. I thought I posted that. I'll put my schedule. Are you in the group or are you on the page? Either way, I'll post my schedule on both of them. So thank you for that heads up. And ciao Bella from Italia. I played in Fabriano, Italy. So very fond memories of that country and the people. Very warm people. What's up, Bo Singer? Good to see you. Yeah, I think it looks like that's it for the questions. Dang, I said we weren't going long. We in the corner an hour, 13 minutes. Remember, guys, I want you to get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. Got some terms in there that will give you better understanding of what I use on the air. Last night during the Oakland Xavier game, I was in my bag. I had some stuff. I was dropping gems. It's going to continue. So get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. Go to bardostribe.com, BARDOS tribe.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love all of you. Hope you guys have a great week. Continue to support Big Ten basketball and support the tribe. And I will catch up with you guys later. Until next time.